Welcome back to my channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie, and we are doing some more tarot twists tonight. We've got Nine of Swords tonight, the Wheel of Fortune, card of Jupiter, and its opportunities. If you work with us, opportunities, giving us the chance to be able to navigate our way. The Nine of Swords, blocking it a little bit. Why? Because of communication and stress. Stress from this card, any new opportunities in this path that came up in a reading. Let's say somebody's asking, okay, I want to know what's ahead for me in the next 3 to 6 months. And we get the Wheel of Fortune, and it's filled with opportunities galore. But the Nine of Swords shows the person is not in the right frame of mind to feel comfortable with those opportunities that are coming. You'd need to see more cards, of course. Can you see how, if you are able to fuse two cards together, how the meanings can actually change? Opportunities here causing a stressful time for the current, i.e. the person that's having the reading. Here's some keywords regarding the Nine of Swords. Opportunities causing somebody to be very stressed and to worry about how they're going to perhaps have communication with that, how they're going to navigate that, causing them sleepless nights, worry, 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 and feeling as if it's the 11th hour. So anything good coming their way, they're probably not going to be in tip-top form through lack of sleep and overthinking. Let's jump to this combination. Let's change the question and let's say our person asking about somebody they've met. And they're saying, well, can you tell me about this person? I've just met them. And yeah, let's say that this is just a new person in their life, not necessarily romance, but more to do with perhaps a friendship. Our person is feeling incredibly stressed about this in their life due to the fact they are feeling enslaved to them. They're asking about them, but they're feeling controlled by the whole situation. Mind games, maybe? They can't put the finger on it, but they feel that in the communication that the other person is taking the control, taking the lead, and binding them to them in ways that make them feel very uncomfortable. They're saying, do you think it's going to get better? If you are happy to be in a place of mental bondage to someone else, being the puppet master, go ahead. But it doesn't look great, does it? Being in a position where you are not in control and someone else is all the time. Let's bring this one on. The Emperor and the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords into the card, the Emperor. Let's say that our person is asking, you know what? I've got a boss at work and I'm really not sure. I feel a bit intimidated. I feel a bit controlled. I feel ill at ease with the situation. And I'm stressing out. I'm really not at my best. Why? Sleepless nights. Sleepless nights is not going to make you very sharp. It's going to mean that you're exhausted. Mentally, you're not able to stand up for yourself. So they're asking about someone else. This is not coming up in their position. This is coming up in someone else. Their boss. They are really not comfortable. Everything's making them nervous. They're stressing out about it. They're feeling controlled by this person. This person is logical and they are not. So it could make you feel a bit silly, as if you are not as intelligent in the way that you would like to portray yourself via your thoughts and your communications, responding to this person. Let's do another one. We've got the Fool and the Nine of Swords. Let's say the question is somebody new that's come into my life and I don't know what to think. I'm not sure. What do you see for me? Let's do a romance this time for you. And you get this. First of all, you've got confirmation from your current somebody new, the Fool. So you're looking in the right place. So these two have not known each other before. They've never met before. And we can't call it a relationship because it's just getting started. It is right at the beginning. Fool's confirming what your current is actually saying. Nine of Swords. All right. Instead of being stressed out with this person, they are being stressed out by the fact that it's new and maybe they're overthinking the situation. There's a very fine line between being excited and feeling nervous. And this is probably a fusion of nerves, causing some sleepless nights. Wonder how it's going to go. Is it going to be all right? I wonder what that person's thinking of me. Gosh, I really don't know what to think. Maybe it's so new that I don't know what to say. I don't know what I should think about this person. We cannot tell if there's an attraction based on these two cards. We would need to know a lot more. And we're not going to do that because we are studying the Nine of Swords and how it can change, A, with our question, and B, with the position. And obviously, we're changing the Major Arcana card, of course. Again, let's say somebody's asking about somebody else. And in this case, we'll say that they are looking to see if this new or friend or potential romance or partnership or special person, how is it going to be? It looks strong, it looks healthy, but you've got some worries and anxieties. Now, they seem unfounded with such a positive Major Arcana card. It shows that there's nothing really to stress out about because the Strength card there is showing a working relationship between two parties, albeit one's a human and one is the lion. But it's showing our person is trying to be brave. It's showing that our person wants to be courageous and to give this a go. Also, don't forget the Strength card links to Leo, and the astrological sign of Leo is fire. So the dynamics of this is action. Our other card is, of course, the communication or our thought process. So they're overthinking, sleepless nights, perhaps because they want to be happy with this person or they want to find happiness and find somebody who is willing to play. Why do I say play? Because Leo, of course, relates to our inner child, and our inner child wants to do hobbies, play, have fun, all those kind of wonderful things. And there is a sense in this card that they are going to be protected and for that to remain in a healthy and strong position if the Nine of Swords starts to settle down into something else. You would need to look at different positions. You would also need to pull other cards, and you would also need to look at your surrounding cards. You can watch all of our previous podcasts, and this is what you're looking for. Yeah, there's all the cards. You can see I'm started there from Ace of Swords right down, going down, and then, along it goes through all the Major Arcana cards. This is screenshotted when I was still working on it. It's all in order right now. All right. So you'll find that on my YouTube channel. There you go. So we talked about somebody new coming in. Let's completely change it tonight and say somebody asked you for a reading and you'd say, okay, what would you like me to look at? And they say, somebody from my past is on my mind. And I saw them the other day. What do you think might happen? Based on the Hermit, that is someone from the past, unlike the Fool, who's somebody brand new. So that's how you know the difference. If somebody's saying, can you look at this person? It's like, okay, you've got to know, how long have you known them? Have you just met them? Or did you know them in the past? Or are they somebody that you have known, every day through the course of your life? And in which case, you get in the Hermit, because there's history here. So this is a card of history. It's also a card of work. So we'll talk about that one in a minute. So let's say they're saying, just bumped into them. I'm really not sure why or what's going on. And so you'd look at this and you'd say, this has been causing you a bit of concern. You seem to have some anxiety about it. And they're probably going to say yes. And it's okay. You are feeling that you don't know what they want from you. And they'll say, absolutely. That person needs some impartial advice to be able to gather a sense of maturity about the situation, they are not comfortable with the situation, it's probably much more to do with I'm all stressed out. My ex is back and they're not telling you that. And I'm worried that we split up before. What's going to happen next time? How's it going to be? If I start this up, I really want to, but I'm scared that I'm going to be back on my own, the hermit. Our person, there's an awful lot going on with this pair. As you can see, we're referring to someone from the past coming back. Our person is stressed out because they want past back and they're frightened that the past may repeat itself in the way that they don't want. That person probably walked away for their own reasons and that's why they've walked back in. Are they going to come in and are they going to go again? And we wouldn't know from this. All we can see is that there's a lot of anxiety and that they are worried. Probably excited, but frightened to actually enjoy that excitement due to the fact that they need the courage to be able to accept circumstances that it didn't work last time. What's the chances of it working this time? On this pair, we wouldn't know. And that's why I always urge you to keep putting pairs out. And if you go onto the courses that I teach on my website, you'll only find them there. You can look at the mini courses in particular. The intermediate talks about this, then the advanced, which is part 2 of my signature course, where you're able to actually learn how to use the spread to be able to determine who, what, where, when, why, and how. And that's the kind of spread we all want, isn't it? Because that's what your client wants. And that's where you're saying, gosh, learning the method of this card means the hermit, you're on your own. How am I going to say that in a reading to somebody? They're going to go, sorry? I hope you're not saying I'm going to stay like that. And of course, very hard for people to unhear what we say. There are a lot of people that really want to do tarot, really know this stuff, but they are not sure how to bring everything together. They know the cards, or they know some of them, or they want to grow. But the biggest problem that I hear time and time again, where people are actually nervous about setting out and going through a career, is they don't think it's sustainable, simply because if somebody asks them a question, what on earth are you going to say? Even though you know your cards, you can't possibly answer with that. I know my card, I know it means that, but how do I actually weave it together as a reading? Yes, you might know your card, but the art of actually reading tarot is being able to bring all the pieces and the components together. You just need somebody to say to you, use one spread, go through it, it'll answer everything, and then you'll get confident with what you're doing. The more you practice, the more you'll be able to do it. All right? Now, I mentioned that I wanted to talk about this card regarding work. Okay. The reason being, let's say, using this pair, that we ask the question, I want to know how work's going for me. And in order to be able to answer a work question, you would be looking for things like the hermit or the position of work in your spread. If they're asking about someone in particular, then you've got to either know their star sign or you've got to know where to look in your spread. It's something I teach you on the courses. So the hermit is associated with Virgo. Virgo is the 6th house astrologically. Therefore, the 6th house is where we get work and daily routine. So that's where you'd look on a work question. The 6th house astrologically relates to Virgo. The hermit is associated with Virgo, and there's quite a few in the tarot. Tonight we're just talking about this particular one because we've got the 9 of Swords. So we're looking at this. How are things for me when it comes to work matters? Work matters are stressing you right out. And you might say, look, there seems to be some anxiety around your workplace. And I feel that you're losing sleep over this matter, and they probably say to you, yes, can you see what's about to happen? You wouldn't be able to see anything based on these two cards. That's why you need to pull more out. And tarot is, you've got to also pay attention to your suits, because getting swords is only telling you about communication. And getting swords is only telling you what that person is thinking based on their own thoughts, or how they have been influenced by other people that actually start to affect their thoughts. I know that's quite a lot to take in, but I hope it makes sense, because that's the real biggie. And so we don't know what's going to happen when we get timing, which again, I teach on the courses. You can look on my website. The biggest disservice is to let someone say to you, just throw out the cards. I haven't got a question. Just give me a general. Of course you can do that. But really, they are there because they want to know something. And the way in which they phrase that question, I can tell you how important it is for that person to ask in a certain way. And people say, oh, that's cheating. Sorry, what are you talking about? I'm not a mind reader. Yeah, I've heard that said to my readers when I ran that platform from 2008 until up to 2.5, 3 years ago. It's really important that you, the tarot reader, is in control of what you are comfortable with. The Magician and the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords is a card of sleepless nights, being worried, the 11th hour, being very stressed, not quite sure how you feel about things, allowing things to get on top of you, all to do with communication. And the Magician, of course, is saying, what are you worried about? You know, Magician is also connected with the planet Mercury, so therefore this is all about communication. And that Magician has got 4 elements on the table. So we've got the sword, we've got the cup, we've got the wand, and we've got the pentacle. And so we've got the infinity sign, which means they're protected. And we've got the crystal wand in his, and he's pointing the other hand with a finger down to the floor. Okay, as above, so below. But the point is, with all those 4 tools on a table, a magician is quite capable of everything, because the sword represents communication, the cup represents emotions, the wand represents action, and the pentacle is the material, earthy things that are tangible. Therefore, this person knows what they're doing. So why is our person stressing out? They're worried that perhaps might be nerves. We can all have nerves, can't we, where we actually worry and think, oh my goodness, am I actually going to get this right? Is everything? I really want it to go well. And I want to be able to deliver that. I want to make sure that I don't fluff it. Got all the tools on the table. Doesn't mean that it's going to come out that way. You know how we go, I really want to make sure I cover it all. Bit like, am I going to pass that exam? The minor card's not telling us. The minor card's telling us that you are stressed. The Magician's saying you have the capability of doing it. Be careful. 9 of Swords is sleepless nights. You may not be at your best with no sleep. I suggest you try and rest. Some people worry too much about not getting sleep. It's more important to say, you know what, I'm resting my body, I'm resting my mind, I may be restless, but I am not doing too many things. And sometimes we can over-worry about a lack of sleep, okay? So just bear that in mind. It's always a nice thing to remember for ourselves and to give that impartial advice from the cards to other people. Somebody's saying, can you have a look at my cards for me? And they're doing that awful thing where I'm told you can control as the reader if you want. And they've said, can you give me a general? Just a general? No, I haven't got any questions. And that's what they do. And you're within your rights to actually go, it's not going to work for me. So I suggest you ask a question. Or, you know what? I just think maybe I'm not the reader for you. Be confident about saying that. Yes, you might lose them, but you will feel a lot better for having your boundary if you are not comfortable with that. Or you could say, all right, I could do a general, but I just feel more comfortable if I could ask you what's on your mind today, what brings you for this reading. And sometimes they will say, you're the psychic. And then you'll think, oh my goodness me, imposter syndrome. Am I? Am I really psychic? I like to actually work my cards, but would I consider myself psychic? We can start really putting far too much pressure upon ourselves. Everybody has the capacity to be psychic, whether they develop that muscle by using divination tools such as tarot, oracle cards. I used to work alongside someone that interviewed with me and my husband and my team, and he read dominoes. People read tea leaves, they read coffee cups, and some people go, oh, I don't use any tools. Some people are mediums. As long as you can answer the questions and you're using your integrity, some people just don't want tarot or anything. They want to actually work freehand. And I can understand that. But they always ended up being chit-chatty, shall we say, within about 10 minutes of delivering a reading. And really and truly, if somebody's paying you for 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is, and that's how it's working on platforms, or what other people do is they go, oh, I charge this for this many cards. It's a way round it, but you know what? You can't charge £100, can you, for 2 cards or 5 cards? Really. And if you were going to have to deliver the actual financial sort of substance that's relating to that, you could try it. Some people do, but that's probably because they are quite capable of holding that and filling that time slot. So it's absolute value. But what I'm saying is, it's usually very experienced readers. I've had experienced readers that use nothing, or they use 5 cards, or Belinda, she'd go, oh, God, talk for hours for one card, because she'd always say, I'm clairvoyant. Fine. But for those that are not, and there was a lot more that were not, and having done that for a very long time, I haven't counted the years, but well over a decade, 13, 14 years running a platform, 30 years teaching this, and 30 years giving readings, then I've come across people where they don't know what the problem is and why that they are backing off from being a reader. It's usually because they feel out that for a million reasons they're going to get stuck and they're going to hate it and they're going to feel accountable. If you say, I can't read for you, what your client is hearing is, you've seen something so awful, you don't want to read for them. And no matter what you say to them, that's what they think. I can tell you, time after time. My God, what did they see? Can you read for me? Oh, but this reader said this. And I can tell you that reader is probably just feeling it was an off day. And tarot readers would say to me, I get card blindness. And what they describe card blindness as is to stare at the cards. I know them, and nothing comes out. It all looks like some sort of foreign language, and they are not able. And that can be that they are, just like the Nine of Swords, nervous. It's affecting their confidence, which is just like this path. The Sun is about our energy. It's what drives us. It's our vitality. Nine of Swords is draining that vitality mentally. That is what's going on. Lack of confidence, not feeling transparent enough. The Sun card is about transparency. There's my point. let's say somebody comes and says, I really want to actually be a reader, but you know what? I dread getting card blindness. I feel like a fraud when I do it. I don't feel good enough. We're usually comparing ourselves to an experience of maybe a reading that we've had with someone, our experience of what we expect a reading to be like. Everybody's different, and we don't want some version of what you think it should be, because that's why Nine of Swords is affecting you. How can you possibly be like someone else? Impossible. And I can imagine that we feel, oh my goodness, I've got to live up to that. I've got to do what that person wants. I've got to be as good as them. Remember what I said to you? We had so many different talented people on the platform. They're 24/7 giving tarot readings by phone, via message, via email. It went on to video. It was coming together just as I left the company. And the whole point of what is right for you, what kind of reader do you want to be? The main thing is you cannot measure up to someone other than who you are. And so what we don't want is somebody that's a mini you or a mini Vera or whoever it was that you went to see that read your cards. We just want the authentic you. Then the Sun card will come into play with your confidence, with your transparency, and with your purity. And never be afraid to say to somebody, I'm really sorry, based on how you're asking the question, can't really answer it that way. I work best with the question. So if you want to choose somebody else to read for you, quite happy to leave it today. And it's not because I don't want to read for you. It's just that I just don't feel I get the best out of readings when somebody asks me for a general. Why shouldn't you say that? It's a bit like walking into a shop and expecting them to sell absolutely everything. And the trouble is, sometimes you can overwhelm yourself with too many different methods, like I mentioned. At one point, I was trying to do Russell Grant's, to screams, and then I was looking at, her name was Colette Baron Reed. The one that made me the most comfortable was Russell Grant. It was a great system, but it was bringing in Chinese astrology as well. And it was very light-hearted, too light-hearted for me. I needed a little bit more to dig with, but I really liked his method very much, and I'm not sure if that's still available. Asking the right question. Ask your person to say, really? You can ask me to do a general. I'd really prefer that you ask a question. Otherwise, I don't think I'm going to be able to read you. I work better with questions. I have to have a question. I'm sorry. If that's what you want to say. If you're happy with the general, that's fine. What they really mean is I want you to find out what I'm thinking. That's what they really do. More likely than not, they're also very nervous, and they're also thinking, I want to ask you a ton of things, and I can't remember now that I'm here. And if I say that, you might not answer. I want to know about love and romance, I want to know about finance, I want to know about career, I want to know about my family, I want to know about my folks, I want to know, are we moving? I want to know if I'm doing the right thing. That's what they mean. If they really go, oh, please give me a general. There's just so much I'd love to know. And so, shall we focus on the big three? Love, money, career? Yeah. Oh, I want to know if I'm moving. Yeah, we'll cover that as well. There you go. Hope that helped you all. We're here to actually help you with your tarot journey. Make use of the fact that you can ask me or ask the community or the viewers anything or share with us something that you think is really helpful when reading tarot. Till next time, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.